Welcome back. Good to have you joining us once again for the broadcast. This is Ozarks Tonight. I'm David Oliver. We've talked quite a bit in 2020 about programs and services that were once in person and how those programs and services have now moved to virtual mode. One of which is the Give 5 program locally. It pairs up retirees with nonprofits and groups that need a little extra help. We're going to talk more about how the Give 5 program is going virtual as well. We're welcomed once again by one of our regular guests, Greg Burris, the president and CEO of United Way of the Ozarks. Greg, good to see you again.
You too, David. How are you?
I'm doing great. We're glad you're here. Before we get into Give 5 going virtual like everything else in 2020, let's talk about what Give 5 is and how it works. It was a startup program here in Springfield, and it's gaining some traction now.
It is. We started it when I was at the city of Springfield, when I was city manager, and it has since been migrated over to United Way of the Ozarks. And so United Way is now the host of Give 5. And we call it a civic matchmaking program, and it's civic matchmaking for older adults. You have to be 65 or better. We don't call it 65 or older. We say 65 or better to go through the program because it is funded in part by the Greene County Senior Fund.
And so Give 5 in the past has seen some tremendous success because you've had a lot of people go through the program, and those folks have then paired up with other agencies and such and offered their time and talents in terms of volunteer hours. And you've had a capacity when you've had these things in person, right?
Right. In fact, we had classes at their capacity ready to go when everything shut down because of COVID-19. And so we've had some people sort of waiting in the wings, wondering when will we restart?
Sure. And before we talk about going virtual, let's talk about the need, because I would have to imagine those agencies, those groups that are often served by the volunteers who come through the Give 5 program have perhaps seen an even greater need for folks to volunteer throughout the last many months of this pandemic.
Right. So let's think about both sides of the equation here, supply and demand. You're right. The nonprofits, we hosted a brainstorming session, Zoom session with them, and just threw out the idea and said, what if we came up with a virtual edition of Give 5? What would you think of that? And they got very excited, and they really strongly encouraged us to move forward with that. Okay. Then on the supply side, you think about the people who have been isolating, or we've all probably suffered a little bit of PTSD from the forced isolation and the social isolation. Well, there's a lot of other people in the community that have been isolating longer than that. But there's just people, I think, kind of hungry for that connection and wanting to get out and engage with their community.
Sure. Well, let's talk about how you're going to make this a virtual program now. Tell me about it. It's going to start October 20th, and you're going to take 20 people. How's it going to work?
Well, it's going to retain a lot of the qualities of the sort of Give 5 classic, we call, but it's going to have some differences. Obviously, it'll be 100% online. The volunteer opportunities that people will get to select from will either be virtual volunteer opportunities, things they can do at home, or things they can do on site at the nonprofit, but in a safe way with safety protocols. So we'll give people, just like regular Give 5, we'll give them a wide menu of options. They get to learn about their community, and then they get to learn about nonprofits. But instead of physically visiting 23 nonprofits, they will virtually visit 7 nonprofits.
Okay. And I would think too right now, Greg, the folks that you pair up with some of these nonprofits are retired baby boomers who have a lot to give. They have a lot of brain power, a lot of ways they can help. And those folks too right now need some way to occupy their time, perhaps more than ever before.
Oh my, and you're right, David. They're just the skill set that these people have is just amazing. We're impressed every class, and people say, well, I'm not sure I have that much to offer. It's amazing when they get in and go through the program, they discover what they really do have to offer, how they match up well with the needs in the community. So this is, probably needed now more than ever, just because of what's going on with COVID-19.
Okay. Tell me how folks can sign up and the criteria, once again, all the pertinent information.
So the only 2 criteria are you have to be 65 or better in age, and you have to live in Greene County. And what we'll do is you'll apply online through sgfgive5, the number 5.org, O-R-G. So it's sgfgive5.org. and there's an online application.
sgfgive5.org. I'm wondering, though, you've had capacity classes before. I wonder if you're going to see the same thing with this virtual class.
Well, we may very well, and if we do have that happen, that will tell us something about the level of demand out there, and then we'll be running more classes. These will be different because they won't be full classes, they won't be full days. These will be 4 2-hour sessions. So this will be a less of a time commitment than the traditional Give 5, just because we don't think people want to sit in front of a computer screen for 8 hours a day. Probably 2 hours a day is the maximum, but through that 2 hours, we're going to provide them a lot of information, and we'll have fun.
And I would imagine, too, those nonprofits and groups that are served by the volunteers through Give 5, you mentioned they were pretty excited about the notion of doing this in a virtual way, because I would imagine they could still use the help right now.
Absolutely. If you think about what happened to their volunteerism, a lot of them saw a significant drop in volunteerism, and they rely on these volunteers to do the great and inspiring work that they do in the community. So we're really excited about that. We're also excited from the standpoint of the alumni and the people who will go through the program. We did survey our alumni and ask them, what do you think of this idea? And they gave us very positive feedback. They said, yeah, go forward and do it.
Sure. All right, folks, you heard the website, sgfgive5.org. That's how you can sign up for this virtual Give 5 class coming up October 20th. Greg Burris, the president and CEO of United Way of the Ozarks. Good to see you once again, and appreciate your time. And I was going to say, next time we have you on, we're going to have you pull one of those guitars off the wall and play a little ditty for us.
I'm happy to do it. Thank you, David.
Okay. We will see you soon. Be well, my friend.
All
we'll
right.
have more Ozarks Tonight after this quick break.